welcome to another episode of Midwest Media Men, your foremost authority on everything video games, movies, music, comics, books. I am your host, Connor. Today I have with me Cody.
Hey.
And I have Big Nick.
How's it going?
And Gabe.
What's going on?
All right. You guys have a good holiday?
Hey, yeah, man, as much as we can. Yeah, I went to San Francisco. Saw an old friend, bought some comics.
You did mention that you did find a comic that you didn't know existed.
Oh, yeah, actually, last week, I was like, if there's I didn't want to read the Labyrinth book, but I said if there was a Dark Crystal book, I'd read it. I got the book. I'm reading it. I like it. I dig it a lot. It's beautiful, first of all. And yeah, I think it really takes you back into that world. It doesn't skip a step.
Who publishes that?
I don't know. If I had it handy right now, I think it's Dark Horse or something.
That sounds about right. They're always picking up kind of more obscure titles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do some wacky stuff. I appreciate it.
Well, what about that? Marvel's Avengers Infinity War trailer just broke the record for most views in 24 hours at 230 million. We just added to that because I just showed it to Cody for the first time.
Yeah. That's kind of refreshing, I think, just because, I do worry that people are getting sick of this stuff. Like, we don't, because we're huge nerds, but I wonder what the general public feels, and, if those are the views, then obviously they're as excited as we are.
I think it's going to have an upper leg, too, because people are a little familiar with Thanos from showing up in the past few movies. You got to see a little bit more of him in Guardians of the Galaxy at the end of Avengers and Avengers Age of Ultron. So there isn't going to be too much with the viewers not knowing this villain or having to do any backstory. I know they plan on doing the backstory, and they said it's going to be in lines with a heist movie, with him stealing the crystals.
Exactly what you were saying about peppering it in, and at the end of Avengers, everybody saw Avengers, so they saw Thanos, and even if they didn't know who it was, they were like, oh, who's that? And then some nerd will tell you. Or having him in Guardians of the Galaxy. I think it was look, not to dig at Justice League again, but they reward you for paying attention, which Justice League does not do.
Well, yeah, with the 230 million views, I think more people saw this trailer than went to see Justice League.
Yeah, that's wow. Damn.
Well, the trailer is free. You can access it from your phone.
Absolutely.
It's more readily available.
Nah, man. I like that big shock number there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it just broke the record from it. Previously held the record with, I think, 197 million or so in 24 hours. So they beat it by quite a bit. But I figure we could go through maybe and do our thoughts and break it down, kind of with some of our favorite scenes, things we want to see.
Sure. Actually, I'm going to pull that trailer up right now just so I can have it in front of me with the sound off.
Well, what'd you think about it, Gabe?
I thought it was super awesome. I mean, it invoked a lot of emotion, which I didn't think it necessarily would. I mean, I know they're going for this whole MCU reboot, and they're kind of hinting at that through this. I thought it was some key scenes were pretty sweet. I feel like everybody coming kind of together that we haven't seen. Everyone's been spread out, especially in the past, 3 MCU movies. I think it's something that's going to be weird. I want to know more about this heist aspect. I know, I don't think the trailer really set that up, so I like that that's probably going to be a surprise for a tone of the movie.
Oh, yeah. Even though it was 2.5 minutes, it's still just a teaser trailer. So there's a lot more they're going to be filling in here in the months to come. And this does come out, was it May 4th? So it's not too far off. And we have Black Panther right before that in February.
I'm pretty geeked about Black Panther, but I got to say, just seeing the Wakanda parts of this trailer, whatever's going on in that action sequence is going to be nuts. The final shot when they're all, running forward. It's first of all, I was like, damn, that's a lot of black people. It's just a bunch of Wakandan warriors and every black superhero and Captain America and the Hulk Like, it was, I mean, that was nuts. But yeah, you rarely see that many black people on the screen as heroes in a superhero movie. And that was like the shot, that was the money shot right before the little tag at the end.
Right.
And that's still all subject to change. If you guys remember the Avengers Age of Ultron, you see them with Thor when he says, "Is that the best you can do?" We have Vision, Scarlet Witch, and Quicksilver standing in the background in the final, but in the trailer they weren't there. So we might not see Hulk.
Right, yeah, there might be people in that shot who they're leaving out even. Oh, you know what? You know what image just came by as I have this trailer running in front of me is the Vision getting the gem taken out of his head, and I think a lot of people took issue with that, thinking it was too much of a reveal. I don't think so. I think, first of all, you know that there's a stone in dude's head, so, you know, where do you think it's going? You think they're going to leave that gauntlet incomplete because there's a stone in his head? Like, I think not. Second, you don't actually see it leave his head. Like, somebody might come in and save him. You don't know what's going on in that scene necessarily. It's just teasing something that you know is going to happen anyway.
I did see some of the B-roll, too, when it looks like there's a fight with Scarlet Witch and Vision in there, so she might come save him, and might be when we see Cap getting the scepter spear thrown at him. But what do you guys think of finally seeing actual Spidey sense?
Oh, that was kind of neat. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was a big, impactful thing, but at the same time, seeing such an iconic power kind of on screen in MCU, that was pretty sweet.
It was really cool to see the new costume too, and see it in action and stuff.
The Iron Spider, yeah.
The Iron Spider, yeah. And their take on it is honestly cooler than the comic book version, I would say. But I also want to see it get wrecked. I don't want to see that costume last for more than 2 movies.
Yeah, I want to see him if he has the arms come out of his back. I think that would be cool.
No, dude. The extra arms? Oh, you mean the robot arms? I thought you meant when he grew extra arms.
Oh, yeah, we want him to go full Animorphs on this and turn it into a spider thing.
We also get a bearded Cap. Yeah, more resembling with the black suit with Nomad.
Yeah, with the star ripped off and stuff. Yeah, again, way cooler than the real Nomad costume, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know too much about Nomad. You want to fill us in a little bit?
In the 1970s, because of like Watergate and stuff, it's never explicitly stated that it's Richard Nixon, but it's clear allegory for what's going on. Cap is so ashamed of like what's going on in his country that he's like, I can't be Cap. Like if Captain America was around now, he'd probably do the same thing and be like, no fucking way. Like I can't represent this country if this is what's going on at the top of the country. Yes, that's exactly what he does, dude. He takes the knee. And
Cap takes knee.
Yeah, and then he becomes a nomad, the man without a country, and he wears a ridiculous I think it's like black and yellow, like just joke of a costume. It's hot garbage. But then after that, he becomes U.S. agent, which is a way cooler costume, and he gets to hand that off to another guy later, just because the costume is sick. Yeah, it's just a black Captain America costume with like stripes instead of a star in the middle, and there's a star off to the side.
And people talking about Vision with the stone being taken out of his head. I didn't think that was as much of a spoiler as actually seeing Bucky, with a new arm. So they had resolved his mind control issues.
It's a given. It's a given. Like I thought that was a given. That's gonna happen. That's not a surprise to me.
And it looks like the Hulk, Bruce Banner, is taking the role of Silver Surfer from the comics, crashing through the Sanctum Sanctorum, kind of notifying that Thanos is on his way.
Yeah, it was really cool to see that it works almost better, too, with the Hulk, just because it's this giant crater, but there's a, normal sized man at the end of it. So when they're looking down at him quizzically, it's like, what the fuck just happened? Like,
and for those who don't know, Silver Surfer won't be in this like he is in the comics because he's still owned by 20th Century Fox.
Oh, okay.
We're getting closer, man. We're getting closer to closing the deal.
Every day we get a little bit closer to that. No, I think it's a cool way to wrap up all these giant overarching stories comic-wise, but still relating them back to MCU. And if anything, it just shows kind of their cool creativity that they have, the free range they can do with these stories that, we don't have to see an exact panel-for-panel translation, but when those happen, it's cool, and sometimes their solutions are even better.
And what I really want to see, and I was excited when I saw Spider-Man getting smashed down by Thanos, because in the comics, he actually, after the Avengers get captured by Thanos, he's one of the ones that free them. So that could be part of it. Like, they're all captured, and he's there to free them.
Like the whole new Avengers thing?
Well, it's in the Infinity Gauntlet.
Gotcha.
We also get another look at the Hulkbuster. In my theory, I don't think that's actually Tony Stark in there, because he's in New York, and we have Bruce Banner showing up in Wakanda talking to Black Widow, and you see Hulk running with them. But that could be Bruce Banner controlling that Hulkbuster suit, because he doesn't seem to have the repulsors under control. He's kind of just jumping around. What do you guys think about that? Would you be excited to see Banner or someone else controlling an Iron Man suit?
In the context of the story, could be fun, but Hulkbuster's fun either way.
I mean, is it still Veronica?
Oh yeah. I think Veronica's since Jarvis became the Vision, so I think it's all Veronica now.
Well, wasn't it Friday? And then Veronica was the Hulkbuster?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then Spider-Man has Karen.
Yeah, actually, that's Jennifer Connelly's voice. Paul Bettany's wife, Paul Bettany playing Vision. It was kind of cool little... And she's coming back, after being in the Ang Lee Hulk travesty.
And in The Rocketeer.
Yes. Underrated movie.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Johnston directed that, also directing the first Avengers.
Yeah, I think a lot of those early MCU films get a bad rap, but I think that they were good at setting tones. They're not perfect, especially compared to what they were able to achieve in Phase 2, but I think they set a really good tone for what's going on now.
We also, in that final shot, seeing Captain America and the gang running towards the camera, it looks like Cap has some Black Panther-type gloves and gauntlets. That'd be interesting to see him working with some Wakandan gear.
It is cool because, he already has a relationship to vibranium, a very, that's his identity is that vibranium shield.
Yeah, like Ultron says, so the most indestructible metal in the world, and they make a Frisbee out of it.
So what do you think the odds are between this movie and the sequel that somebody, I think namely Daredevil from the Netflix series, makes a cameo? Just a cameo.
Ooh.
Quick drop in.
What are the odds, or who would it be?
I mean, I think Daredevil's your best bet, but
he's the most fleshed out character for sure.
Yeah.
Well, he's had the most time, the most seasons.
Most recognizable, yeah.
I don't think he'll show up. I think they might drop a hint to him, like they do in the shows about the event. I don't think we'll see him.
Even if it's just like Charlie Cox, not even dressed up as Daredevil, but in the Matt Murdock gear.
Right.
And tells Peter Parker to stay out of trouble for a hot second, and that's it.
Right. I mean, that'd be awesome.
Also, this is one of my favorite things from the comics, but it's never going to happen. Also because Tony Stark is still clearly an alcoholic. They never resolved that in any way. And so is Jessica Jones. But eventually they both clean up and Tony Stark becomes Jessica Jones' sponsor.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that is awesome.
That'd be something tough to tackle with Disney on board.
Yeah.
Alcoholism is taboo.
We don't see any Hawkeye or Ant-Man. How do you guys feel about that?
They're going to do 2 more trailers, and I'm sure we'll see more. I think that Hawkeye is Ronin in this and not Hawkeye.
Yeah, he did get an updated look.
Yeah. It looks like he's in the straight ninja gear. And maybe they'll do other Ronins. For those who do not know, Ronin is a character who showed up in the mid-2000s and was just a ninja costume that several different Marvel characters put on for a brief period and would join the Avengers almost on consignment. So I think it was Echo, Daredevil, and Hawkeye, among others, were all Ronin.
And we get some confirmation that the Guardians of the Galaxy will be in this film. Pretty excited about that, seeing Rocket Raccoon and Thor going at it. I've seen in the Comic-Con footage that when Thor hits the Milano, Rocket's like, get it off, get it off.
Oh yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, I only watched that footage a couple times because it was such bad quality, but
Yeah, and see, I think it's weak, or I think the new trailer is weak compared to that footage, because you actually get to see Thanos doing stuff other than, you know, that sick knockout punch to Iron Man and pushing down Spider-Man. He's actually like grabbing a moon and throwing it at the Avengers.
I mean, this movie doesn't come out till May, man. They gotta roll it out slow. I think they did an amazing job because I mean, it still got me pretty hyped, you know.
You and 230 million other viewers.
Exactly.
So, do you guys think there will be any significant deaths in this one?
Yes, they gotta.
Yeah, I think they got to lead us in slow if they plan on killing off everyone, you know?
I say kill the Vision in this one. The Vision goes first.
Do you think that when we see him in his human form, is that a vision, no pun intended, or is that something that Scarlet Witch is doing, you know, because every time she uses her power, she goes a little bit crazier in the comics.
Right.
So is this something that she's, you know, picturing, or is that, because it looks like the stone is pushed into his head, if not
Right, yeah, it's like
removed.
glowing, almost like the arc reactor does out of Stark. I think that, honestly, because he can, you know, he made his own cape and, you know, kind of created his own look. I think maybe he gets into like a shape-shifting kind of thing himself. That's my guess. But I have no idea what's going on there. It's really interesting, but yeah, I want to know more about it, but I don't know.
No, I was thinking of another character who dies. I think the easiest one to kill off is Hawkeye, considering that they killed Agent Coulson in the first one.
That's true.
Kind of like the everyman who's the heart and soul of the team, and I think Hawkeye has become a little bit of more of an emotional crutch for the series, especially with like what's his face, that Silver or whatever is the quick dude, whatever his name is, Quicksilver. You know, like kind of taking him under his wing, kind of takes
yeah, he is kind of the glue. He gives like he's the pep talk guy, and he's I think there's a good chance that Hawkeye he famously dies in Avengers Disassembled, and I think this is going to have a little bit of that vibe too.
And yeah, man, I think he's the easiest one, and probably would pack the most emotional punch at this time without like having a Cap die right away.
But I think Iron Man, between Iron Man and Cap, I think Iron Man has to go. I think he has to. I think that's his story arc about, you know, selflessness and learning to become a more...
Brings up that nuke all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, that it almost paid off in the first Avengers, and like, yeah, he finally has to make that sacrifice at some point, I think.
I'm hoping everybody dies, and then they get a hold of a gem, reality gem, time stone, and bring them back.
Bring them back as new actors.
Yeah, I think that would be the biggest symbol of them rebooting, is really getting his face in RDJ.
Well, Kevin Feige has said that this is going to be the end of the MCU as we know it.
I mean, is it like one of those weird pitches like this is the best roller coaster known to man as we know it?
How do you guys feel about if they ended it on a cliffhanger?
Oh, I mean, it has to. It has to. If they're shooting another one right now, that's Avengers 4, like, if they're shooting them back-to-back like that, then yeah, it's a cliffhanger.
Well, they haven't come out and said that this is the sequel. They had it before that it was part 1, and then they were going to do part 2, but this one's still untitled, Avengers 4.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the Avengers movies were never planned in tandem like this before. Like, it's still like the Russo brothers shooting 2 movies with the same cast back-to-back. Something's up.
Yeah, I know they did just film a funeral scene, too, so somebody's dying.
Yeah.
All right, well, when you guys want to run us through on Thanos and what he's about?
Wow.
The villain of this film?
He will bathe the starways in your blood.
Oh, God. One of the oldest living beings in the MCU, one of the most powerful, has kind of killed everyone and anyone. He's
got kids, but they're not really his kids.
Right, exactly.
Oh, yeah, being Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy and
Nebula, and now he's got these 4 other creepers.
The Black Order, yeah.
Yeah, the Black Order or the Children of Thanos.
Yeah.
Also inspired by Jack Kirby's run on DC as Darkseid.
That's what's wild about it is like Jack Kirby goes to DC, creates the New Gods, and Marvel, being without a Jack Kirby anymore, just rips those off and creates Thanos, who's actually pretty sweet.
And he has this obsession with the living embodiment of death. Most of the actions that he does are to impress her and win her favor.
Obviously, Death hasn't shown up in the MCU, but we've got Hela, the goddess of death, in Thor Ragnarok. So if they were going to make that work, they could make that work with her.
Absolutely.
I think that'd be super sweet too, as a callback to the old school with the new school, and with a really crazy MCU solution that actually works.
And here's another great twist that happens in the original Infinity War, or maybe Infinity Gauntlet. I don't remember which. But and by the way, these comics are like kind of dull. But like there's some really fun sequences in them, but like ultimately like they're a little like plotty. But in one of these comics, Gamora, one of his daughters, played by Karen Gillan in the movies, she got all kinds of shiesty in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Huh? No, Nebula.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nebula, the blue one. Played by Karen Gillan in the movies. Yeah, she got all kinds of shiesty in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And, turned on everybody, but, turns out she kind of has a soft-heartedness and all this stuff. In the books, she gets the gauntlet. She gets the gauntlet away from Thanos, and then she just goes crazy. And then everybody has to team up, including Thanos, to take Nebula down. I don't know what the odds of that are happening, but, remember when the Mandarin was revealed to be Trevor? I feel like people would react the same way if Nebula got the gauntlet. It would be a love it or hate it scenario, and I would love it if they did that.
Oh, I think more people would love it because it would actually be an action set piece, not just, hi, I'm Trevor, don't go in the bathroom for 20 minutes because it stinks and I'm an actor and all this. It would have some more weight to it. It would be more fun.
But it's also like a clear misdirect. Like this whole time this Thanos dude has been getting built up and like, he's pissed off and he's big and he wants, power and control or whatever. And then it turns out like it's just like that nasty, evil rat woman Nebula. I mean, I would love it because I really love Nebula. I really love that performance. But I know people who already hate Nebula and thought that her plotline in the movie was pointless. I like Karen Gillan. I think that character is rad, and I think if they gave her the gauntlet, it'd be a twist that no one was expecting.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty sweet, actually. Because he, torments the kids. He saved, Gamora from, a raping and all this, and then, mechanically enhanced them.
Yeah, I mean, he messed them up bad.
Yeah, like in Guardians of the Galaxy, that said he pitted them against each other all the time.
Right.
Every time that she lost, she ripped off another part and enhanced it with cybernetics. But I'm like, how much is that enhanced? They're all sweet. My muscles are all awesome now, but I did have them individually ripped out.
Well, he did have a family, and to impress, a real family, to impress Death, he actually killed them for her.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out where they take him in the MCU.
Yeah, because
they're going to relate back in that.
Those are some pretty heady themes that might be kind of hard to explain to a general audience.
Right.
That he's infatuated with death.
And when he snaps his fingers in the comics, he kills, half the universe?
Yep.
So when we see Tony Stark there kind of upset, holding the hand, he might just find out that it, killed Pepper or something like that, everyone he loves. So they could kind of dwindle it down a little bit instead of just the entire universe. Attach it to people that Tony cares about. Because, they're not going to kill Spider-Man. He's got a new movie coming out after Avengers 4. But they might kill him in this and then just bring him back with the gauntlet.
You know what? Even if it's not a Netflix character, I just want some fun cameos from somebody I haven't seen in a while. Hugo Weaving, maybe. Trevor. I would be happy to see Trevor.
Well, in that Marvel one-shot, he is the real Mandarin.
Oh, the real Mandarin shows up and is kind of a shadow figure and threatens Trevor, but you never see him.
Oh, that Marvel one-shot, yeah.
Yeah, Hail to the King, I think it's called. I love that, too.
No, I thought it was super cool. I think they should do more of those, like a 5-minute story that really ups the ante over the overarching MCU. But just like,
yeah. I mean, the place is made of money, honestly. Like, they could have a whole show that's just like Black Mirror, but just like short stories with Marvel characters. It's like, yeah, let's get like Sam Rockwell to come back as Justin Hammer for like one, short thing and just like air it on our streaming service or something.
Right.
Well, without seeing too much, where do you guys think this Thanos will rank as a villain? We haven't even seen him speak yet, so...
But you hear him speak, right? Like, I mean, some of the stuff that he says in that trailer, again, like, Bathe the Star Was in Your Blood from Guardians of the Galaxy, that's just a sick line. Or the one in the trailer about like, not being about bringing him joy or whatever, but like, that
it does
makes him
smile
smile.
on his face.
Yeah, he's just rad. I don't think that a lot of these MCU villains have been as bad as some people say they are. I even kind of like Ronan the Accuser, but
oh wow,
there's definitely been some whack ones, and I think that since let's say since Michael Keaton this year, or no, since Ego, I'll say since Ego, they've been pretty solid. Every Marvel villain that came out this year has been rad.
Well, that was a good one too because it was kind of a twist, that he was the villain.
Right.
Well, I think we're going to find out more, with upcoming trailers, and then ultimately on May 4th, if it's going to be a winner, or, I mean, they really haven't, failed us yet.
Yeah, I think we're very lucky to be alive in these times where these things are possible. This is insane that this is happening.
Yeah, it's the golden age of comic book movies.
Really and truly.